So, DK, given that international investors are increasingly looking at India, I've got a question specifically about inflation and interest rates for the country. So it's been coming down in the past few years, essentially, to good levels. But is it there to stay? That's clearly one thing that investors are looking at. What is your take of that? What about interest rates, of course, which is the other side of the coin here?
Inflation has been a big bugbear for India because we've seen double-digit inflation for 5 to 6 years continuously. I think that scenario is changing, and the oil prices are definitely helping. But let me say that it's not just good luck on the oil. It's also some of the steps taken by the central bank and the finance ministry. We are on a fiscal consolidation path that is positive for inflation control. Also, government is making steps to increase the supply of food grains, being restrained about raising minimum support price to the farmers, being less populist. I think all those things help in controlling food inflation, which is a large part of the inflation basket in India. And central bank has played a very active role in managing expectations. They have anchored expectations pretty neatly. And as a result, inflation has edged down, and it has come to the levels that the central bank is targeting for this year, which is 6%. And because it is likely to remain in that range, central bank has also cut interest rates by about 50 basis points this year, and we expect another 50 basis point could happen over the next year. I think what is very interesting here is that there is a new monetary policy framework now. So central bank proposed that framework, and the government has accepted. So both the government and the central bank are going to coordinate better, because we now have one target for inflation, which is 4% over the medium run, plus minus 2%. I think that will give more clarity. That will give more it will make the monetary policy more accountable. It will also give investors more confidence that inflation would be low. Whether we finally control the inflation monster is too early to say, because food inflation still is an issue, and I think a lot needs to be done in agriculture to tame food inflation on a durable basis. But I think the beginnings definitely are good.
So what you say is quite comforting, actually, clearly. Now, another question I would have is that it looks like the effect from the higher growth in the United States is not doesn't have any strong implication for Asian economies at large, and the economy in China in particular is slowing down quite steadily. What does it mean for India and over the next couple of years, you believe? And what about the evolution of prices in the commodity sector, specifically oil and gas?
The oil and gas is very, very positive for India because it's a net consumer of oil. We import a lot of oil, we subsidize a lot of oil, and it has significant weight in the inflation basket. So when the oil prices, commodity prices decline, inflation is lower, fiscal deficit is lower, and also the current account deficit is lower. So that's the good news part. Now, as far as the US recovery is concerned, the kind of impact we expected it to have on the Indian economy is not being felt, both in terms of exports and also in the service sector exports, which are IT, ITS. So, but reason for that is still to be explored. I think we don't have enough data to figure out as to what is causing that. Could be a lagged effect, which is yet to play out. Could be the relationship itself has changed, and maybe other markets are exporting to US. I think that needs to be explored. But I think, to cut it short, we are not getting the kick from the US recovery as we would have expected. But it is still, as the financial sector in US stabilizes, growth picks up, it's good for some of the outsourcing companies in India. And I think there will be spillover effects which will be felt later on. But as of now, I think it's not. Our exports are very sluggish. Overall export, they've hardly grown this year. So I think not the kind of impact we would have expected.
Thank you very much, DK. I mean, clearly India is a very interesting story at the moment. There is a feeling that there is a turning point, and it's certainly one of the bright spots in the global economy at the moment, with very good perspective.
Yeah, I do hope that the recovery phase transforms into a surge phase soon.